Hello everybody, this is Zoe from No Safer Place, and today I'm talking about a book that has shot into my favourite books of all time almost instantly. I haven't loved a book as much as this since After the Fire, and if you've been a subscriber for a while you will know that After the Fire is my all-time favourite book, and honestly this book has given it a run for the money. After the Fire is still in top position, but this one is very, very close behind, and I never ever thought I would say that. And that book is The Silent Patient. Now, this book doesn't come out until February this year, so I was super lucky to be sent a proof copy by Orion Books, so thank you so much for that. This video isn't sponsored or anything, this is my honest opinion of this book, and I got sent this book yesterday, and I finished it yesterday. That's how completely unputdownable it was and how utterly gripping this was. I think I loved it so much because it did remind me of After the Fire. It isn't a YA book at all, it is an adult book. But it is a thriller, much like After the Fire, and it has the before and after perspectives, which I now absolutely love because of After the Fire. We have the before perspective before the big event happened, which I will explain in a minute, and then after the big event happened and the aftermath and what has occurred since. It also has a heavy emphasis on the bond between a psychiatrist and a patient, which After the Fire has as well, and I always find that an interesting connection. I love delving deeper into the minds of possible murderers and people that have been messed with. I just find it very interesting. So the book focuses on Theo Faber and Alicia Berenson. Alicia wakes up one day, kills her husband with absolutely no explanation, and then decides to not speak again. After the event has occurred, she does not utter a word. They think that it's because she's in shock and she doesn't quite know how to deal with the situation at hand. But it goes on for weeks, for months, for years, and they realise that the problem is a lot deeper than they first thought. So she has been at this psychiatric unit called The Grove for years now, and our psychiatrist Theo manages to get a job there. Alicia's case has always interested him, and I think as anyone in that field, that would be someone that you would really want to experiment on because it's just such an interesting case. So he feels like he can be the person that can help her speak. So when he gets a job there and gets assigned to her, he is very excited. So Gabriel was Alicia's husband that she killed. They were happily married, everything seemed perfect for them. They were both really creative. Alicia was a painter, and then one day she just shot him several times, just completely out of the blue. Or that's what we think. Theo doesn't believe that Alicia killed her husband, but she was found at the scene of the crime with the gun, her handprints on the gun, so she had to have been the murderer, right? I won't say more about the plot other than that, but the plot is just uncovering what has happened in regards to events before and events that are happening now, and then they come together at the end, and it is just a explosive ending. So it switches between Theo's everyday life and Alicia's diary that she was writing about as all this was going on, but no one knew that she was writing it. So I found that inside perspective from her point of view really, really interesting. But even then, I still had absolutely no idea what was going on. Now, as someone who has loved thrillers for a very, very long time, there isn't much that ever really surprises me. So I love guessing, but I'm usually right. I don't think I've ever read a thriller where I haven't kind of guessed what's going on, especially near the end. But I mean, I had 50 pages to go with this book, and I was so certain of the direction it was heading. I was thinking, oh, this is kind of predictable now, I know what's happening. Wow, I could not have been more wrong. I genuinely do not believe that anyone could guess the ending of this book. If you did and you want to prove me wrong, let me know in the comments below because it was just so unexpected. But that's definitely what shocked me the most about this book, is how much I thought I knew and was so certain that this was happening and was just completely wrong. There were so many people that you thought were definitely part of it and they fitted into this puzzle piece perfectly. But what you are missing is just right in front of you, and I will not say any more than that, but that is my one hint. Do not overlook what is right in front of your eyes. Now, as for the characters, I didn't really find any of them particularly likeable, and usually in a book, if I don't really like any of the characters, I kind of get bored and it puts me off it, but this was not the case with this book. Mainly because I had a little crush on Theo. Theo is in his 40s, he's obviously the psychiatrist. In his job with Alicia, he is very unethical, he isn't very professional. As I say, he isn't very likeable, but I found it incredibly hard not to root for him. Although he did things in the wrong way, I know that he meant well in his heart, and I think that's why I found myself rooting for him throughout the whole book. I just feel like he was such a compelling character that you just wanted him to do well, because he was so passionate and so enthusiastic about making Alicia better, and you just wanted him to succeed and unravel this mystery. Well, I did anyway. It was very, very fast paced, which I absolutely love. I can get quite bored of books if nothing really happens, but there is no way that you could get bored of this. It is literally a thrill a minute. You have to take so much in because so much is going on. I honestly have no idea how anyone could put it down once you start, because you just need to know what happens next. It's not a want, it's a need. As I say, the chapters were very short, which again is something I love. I've always found shorter chapters much more easier for me to get into the book and to get involved with the story. I don't know if I'm alone in that one, but short chapters for the win. I also think I loved this book because I am very, very interested in psychology and how the brain works, especially for people that have committed crimes. I mean, I watch all the kind of serial killer documentaries and things like that on Netflix because it just really, really fascinates me, and I love learning more about things like that. So this book definitely fed that. As I say, this book was absolutely fantastic, and I've just seen on the back that the film rights have been sold, which is just so exciting because this would make such a fantastic film. If you like thrillers, I cannot recommend this book more. It is simply sensational, shot into my favourite books of all time. I strongly recommend you all go and pre-order it in time for February when it's released. I will leave the link in the description box below if you want to go and pre-order it now, because it is definitely worth it. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see more of on my channel, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye.